Okay, so I'm gonna explain a little bit about this little guy. We talked about him the other day. Okay, so today I'm going to talk a little bit. We talked about this before. This is the ECOFLOW River Pro. It has a 720 watt hour battery. I know a little bit more about it now because I've been working on it. One of the issues we have is the 110 volt refrigerator, and this requires an inverter off of something like this, which just has it in there, or like our Victron setup that we have, or the big power stations, which is ECOFLOW that we're going to put on the new van. So the original plan was to put two of the big ECOFLOWs, which are the Delta Pro, I think Delta Max Pro. I don't know. I think it's the Delta Pro.
ECOFLOW Delta Pro.
Yeah. We're originally to put two of those on the van and then use those to power this, but we're going to do a 12 volt refrigerator, which is like a $1,200 purchase. And then if it goes out, you know, you're stuck. Plus, there's so many variations of this little size of the 3.3 cubic foot refrigerator that you can get from Home Depot and Best Buy that we wanted to go that direction. So we bought these, or our son bought these actually, had them shipped to us because he has our power station. So we thought, well, we'll use his, and then when we go up to Seattle, we'll flip them out. So I thought, well, I'm going to use this to see how much the 110 volt refrig uses for power, and then see how much it costs in power usage when we invert. So in the case of the current van, when we invert, it inverts about 40 watts per hour for the inverter, which translates to about 1,000 watts per day for the inverter to be on 24/7, which is great in the sense that you have full power as far as plug-in 110 volt power at all times, but it also uses up a full battery basically. So we wanted to see something different. So anyway, I hooked this in, plugged it into the refrigerator and let it run. This will run on the inverter about 550 watts in a day. And part of it is we're in Las Vegas, but it's not super hot or anything like that. So that'll be a higher number when we go to another location in the summer or whatever. I understand that. But the thing is, from the inverter standpoint, it doesn't use much when it's on. And it may be because it only turns on the inverter. It might be a smart inverter, and this is over my head. It might be a smart inverter where it just turns on only when this needs to be powered. And so, because a compressor on a refrigerator only runs like every 10 minutes or 20 minutes, or, you know, depends on how much it needs. So this is going to work. So the new plan is, and tune in because that can change. The new plan then is to use this to power the refrigerator by itself, but hook up the a 12 volt cable from the big power station, the Delta Pro, which is a big 3600 watt. Have that charge this. Sorry, I got
big old RV rig
big
going
old
by.
diesel pusher, I guess, not the solar generator. But anyway, have this hooked into the bigger Delta Pro and have that trickle charge this to keep up with this, or, you know, keep up with this. And so what happens if we use the bigger Delta Pro inverter and plug that in, the AC power, that uses much more because of the inverter efficiency. So the plan will be then to hook this via the 12 volt cigarette lighter car adapter, I guess. So this will charge via the car. And the nice thing with this, you can set this what level of, I think it's a maximum of 8 amps that it'll charge off of the car, or you can do 6, 4, 2. So you can adjust that to what you need. But so what we'll do is we'll hook this into the ECOFLOW Delta Pro, and this will be trickle charged, I guess, from the bigger power station. And so the battery, the refrigerator I know uses 500 watts a day. We'll make sure this trickle charges more than that. And so I can set that at 6 amps or 8 amps, or I'll probably go to 8 amps just because it doesn't matter. It won't like continue to send 8 amps when this doesn't need it. And then what'll happen then, that big one, the big power station has an EV connector, so we can go ahead and charge that at a charging station for cars. But one nice thing is, I'll show you really quick if it'll show up, is the ECOFLOW, which is this one here, and this is the same app that the big power station that we have uses, but it shows you state of charge if it's not running right now. See, this is a nice thing, is right now it's on invert, but it's not using any output because the refrigerator hasn't turned on. So if the refrigerator turns on, if I open the door, it should then have a little bit of wattage there. It takes a second to update, and oh yeah, so there you go, 10 watts. It'll update on this, but you can also has a lot of settings in here too. You know, you can change a lot of different things. You can change the max charging percentage, and that's used, like sometimes you don't want it to be charged at 100% for lithium batteries. And again, I don't know all the stuff on that, but you can change that. You can slow down the AC charge, so that way the fan doesn't run in there, so it doesn't get hot. If it slowly charges, it's better as far as the temperature. This is also internet enabled, so we have full-time internet in the van, so wherever I am, I can do this. Now we can do this on the Victron too, but this is a small $400. This was from Costco for $429, and so it was a really good deal. I think the deal ended, so it's not there, but it's really good. So anyway, that's the plan, is to use in conjunction one of these specifically designed for this, but we're going to have it on this counter. We're going to have a different countertop on the new van. That'll allow us to use this USBs, and for like the coffee pots and stuff like that. It won't handle the induction cooktops, but it will handle like the coffee stuff and other
Coffee
minors.
grinder and minor
Things, or hooking in the we can power the laptops from the USB charge or station. So
it'll be a very convenient, versatile little cube, actually.
Yeah, it'll be great to have it over here, because that was one of the issues. We're going to have one power station in the wall and then one power station down behind the driver's seat. So instead, and then the only bummer is the USB connectors, which we use a lot, would be back over there. Now we'll have this one here. We can go ahead and use those here. And then the main power station is going to be down, at least, I may change my mind, but right now it's behind the driver's seat, so we can easily roll it in and out based on the EV charging. Then we can just pull it to the side or take it out and over to the EV charging, stuff like that.
Yeah, bring it forward.
Yeah, so
nice.
This turned out to be a good experiment that I did not plan on using. I was doing it for this is our youngest son's. I plan on doing it for him to show him how it could work. How efficient it was, and it worked for us.
So we're returning one to Costco.
Right.
And
one of the big Delta Pros we're returning.
Because it hasn't been used and they take them back.
Still in the box, but even so they take them back, but it's actually, we've never taken out of the box, one of them. So
now we have the baby and the big mama.
Yeah, for us. And so this will work out really good. And then solar is going to be another thing that we'll discuss later, but so
nice. Well, it's been great actually that you've had it, you've researched it, and now saving us a ton of money by sending the other one back and making things a little more efficient's not the right word, flexible.
Well, flexible but efficient too. And it is about the money, but it's not. I mean, that's not the whole purpose of it. I mean, it's going to save $2,500, so I mean, that's awesome. But it's more that this works as far as battery usage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, with the bigger ones, we would use a lot more power because you'd have to keep that inverter on 24/7. This one will keep the inverter on also. And if somebody has experience with the bigger Delta Pros that they don't use as much, as far as if it's a smart inverter, it flips off, that may be the case too. But this will work perfect for us.
Good deal. That was a good update. Don't forget to say.
Well, you say that stuff, right? Yeah.
Thumbs up. Thanks for watching.
Thumbs up, and leave your comments below. I don't know that much about this, but I've been dinking around with it, and I continue to do so.
Is dinking a word?
It is.
Dinking.
Yes.
We have to look that up in the dictionary.
Yeah. And I got the app to work. It was not, and I'm a tech head, so I've worked my whole life in tech. I couldn't get it to work, but I shut off mobile data or whatever, and then it worked. And the app's awesome.
Yeah.
And I watched some review of, I think it's Will something. He does all these reviews on this, and he's like, "Oh, the app was perfect." I'm like, "No, what do you mean? I can't get it to work." And anyway, not through him, but I figured it out. So the app is really nice because it's internet able as long as you have internet in here. I mean, these are fantastic products. So
good thing you're a tech head and you can dink with things.
So click on the link below. No, we're not affiliates, but maybe we should be.
We need to, because look at all these EcoFlows. EcoFlow.
Well, they should have sent us free ones, so we're not paying. Because we got Costco deals. So one thing, if you're looking at these, look at Costco. They don't run them all the time, but they've run it every other month now since I've been looking. So.
Awesome.
All right.
Say goodbye.
Subscribe, I guess.
Put your hand in front of the camera.
Well, subscribe just from the sense of seeing all these things. I mean, I love this stuff, so we have a lot going on.
All right, do our ending. Put your hand in front of the camera. That's not really our ending, but bye, guys.